Let them judge. How does it matter? Someone calls me. Suppose, many people come to my foundation, ask money. We don't give. Sometimes they are good, we give. When we don't give, immediately they say, she's really a bad lady. Someone says, they also say, she's okay, but she could have given more. People talk about you many things. But unless you have so much confidence in you, you should not bother about it, what people talk. Not to bother about someone, you require a great confidence. And that confidence within you, it is not what others talk, it really matter. Because you are less confident, so others, what they talk, it affects. Let them talk what they want. I know what I am inside. When you get that feeling and you work for it, it won't come in one day. You have to work for it. Look, others can say, as long legally, ethically it is right, I will take it. Otherwise, let them talk. Nobody has been praised forever in our Indian history, you look at it, or our mythology. Okay. Even in history, you look at history. Nobody said, okay, some king was there, something was bad. Even Sita was called like that. Even Parvati was named. There are many ways people talk. So you should have your inner confidence. Let them talk what they want. But I will do what is legally, ethically is right. And to develop that, you should have confidence. And confidence is not bought. It is not for sale. It is not available in the market. And it is not somewhere in books or anywhere. It is within you. You have to make yourself, look, this is with me. I will unleash my potential and will be confident. Yes, sir. That is the reason. Who is your best friend? Not the Saheli sitting next to you. Who is your enemy? Not the person sitting behind you. Atmaihi atmano bandhur, atmaihi ripu atmanaha. My best friend is me, myself. My worst enemy is me, myself. So you have to make friendship with yourself first. Yes, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Your greatest admirers are the kids. And this is my humble request, if you can keep little time, because they have come with your books to get a signature from your side.
No, I will do that. Signing is not a problem.
This is a small request from
Of course, no problem, because when they buy my book, I always feel part of my royalty is paid for signature, okay? I will sign. Actually, I want to tell them, for all kids, I want to tell one very secret, When I write kids' book, now I'm 69, I'll be 69 soon, So if I'm writing for 12 or 13 years kid, it takes a day or day and a half for me to scale down myself to be a kid of 12 years. I think like them. To think like them, I have to scale down. Because they are not biased. They have a wonderful world. They are inquisitive about things. And, it's nice to be a kid. So I will try to become like that in my mind. Physically, I can't. Mind, I can become. And then I will see the entire book in their angle. You must have seen a book, you must have read a book, The Magic of the Lost Temple, I think. Nooni is my granddaughter. Actually, in real life, Nooni is my granddaughter who was only 6 years old. I thought if Nooni is 12 years old, and that Ajji's role or grandmother's role it's me. I became Ajji at times, and I became Nooni at times. When I became Nooni, I was 12 years. When I was Ajji, I was this age. So I do that mental exercise, and then I write. And that's the reason children like that book, because when I write, I become a child. When I finish, it takes again a day and a half for me to grow up and become stable at my age. So that's the reason I become a kid when I write that one. That I want to tell you people. Yeah. Yes, guys.
Good morning, ma'am. It's a real pleasure to talk
How old are
to
you?
both of you. Ma'am, 13.
Then you can read all my books, okay? No problem.
Yeah. So my question is to both of you. So which books mean most to you? Like, which have influenced most to you? Not necessarily just ma'am's, but any other book also which have influenced you a lot or means most to you.
Yeah, Murthy has his own answers. I have my own, because we read lots of books, thousands of books we have. We have some 20,000 books at home, different genre. When I was teenager, my book reading habits were different, and different poets or different writers were very important to me. And when I started reading more and more, then I liked more British authors, because their expression was much better than American authors. This is my personal thing. Then Murthy introduced me to George Mikesh, a kind of a humor which I enjoyed more, and I read all George Mikesh books. Jerome K. Jerome I used to like. Not many books are there on Jerome K. Jerome, I suppose. So it depends. And when I started growing old, I never enjoyed much fiction. I preferred non-fiction. Okay, and I always liked autobiography than biographies. Travelogues I liked. I like a lot of history books, a lot actually. Okay, so that gives me an insight of our country, why we are like this. What is the advantage of, in a particular state, why people behave like this? All gives the insight of our way of living. So I have a series of collection of history books. I have Indica, which was written 259 BC. Its translation I have. India in the eyes of foreigners I have. Alburani's India I have. So I have different taste. I'm a great buyer from the Banarsi Das bookstores. But Murthy has entirely different library, and I don't lend book to him. I tell him, you can afford to buy, so I will not give. So we maintain our own libraries, and Murthy will answer about books.
Well, at this point of time, most of what I read is physics, popular mathematics, and popular theoretical computer science. Earlier, the books that influenced me a lot were during my college days, including when I was at IIT Kanpur, and slightly later. There were 3 books. One is Capitalism and Protestant Work Ethic by Max Weber. Max Weber analyzed how Northern Europeans made such huge economic progress compared to Southern Europeans. And he realized that was simply because the Northern Europeans were very disciplined, they worked very hard, they used the fruit of capitalism very, very carefully, and they did not just splurge it. That's how Northern Europe became much better than Southern Europe. Even today, as you know, the PIGS countries, that is Portugal, of course Ireland is Northern Europe, but then there is Greece, and then there is Spain, huh? Yeah. Yeah. So they are much less developed compared to Germany, England, France, Scandinavia, etc., etc. The second book that influenced me a lot was My Experiments with Truth by Mahatma Gandhi. That is where Mahatma Gandhi demonstrated the importance of being honest about yourself, recognizing your weaknesses, recognizing your frailties, and try and make an effort to overcome those. And number 2, it also talked about how to, in a very positive way, try and influence others. The third book I read and liked, and that has influenced me a lot, is what's called Peau Noire Masque Blanche. That's French title. In English, it's called Black Skin, White Mask. It is written by an Algerian doctor. He is no more. He died in 61. Yeah. Basically what he wrote about was the reaction of people, of the natives in a post-colonial society. How the elite among the natives, the elite, the powerful and the rich among the natives, behave worse than the colonizers. It's almost, even today, when I see in India transactions, I am reminded of that book, because in Algeria it was the same, India it is the same, Pakistan it's the same, etc. So that shows how the elite, the rich and the powerful are even bigger oppressors rather, than the colonizers. And that's a lesson that all of us who have reached a certain level of wealth, certain level of elitism, certain level of power, have to read and try and control that tendency. So I would say that these are the three books that have made tremendous influence on me in terms of my discipline, in terms of my hard work, in terms of my control on my expenditure, in terms of simplicity of living, in terms of leadership by example, in terms of behavior of an elite, the rich and the powerful. That's what I would say. Then on a nickel and dime, basically it is by an American lady called Barbara Irishland. What she did was she wanted to understand the life of the poor in America. She was a reporter in New York Times. She went to her editor and she said, I want to understand the life of the poor. That guy said, look, young lady, you can't understand the life of the poor from being what you are. You have to actually live that life of the poor, then only you will understand. So what she did was, she did something extraordinary. She disguised herself, not disguised, she got a new identity and she worked as a waitress in a restaurant including Pizza Hut. She worked as a checkout girl in Walmart, and she worked as a nurse in an old age home. And she describes the life of the poor in America, how tough it is to be poor. And there are lots of lessons from that book. So certainly I think these are all useful books.
Sometime back, I had opportunity of visiting Mysore. I visited all the families of martyrs in Mysore. And I found that, their kids, they lack jobs. It's very difficult for them. Is it possible to start an initiative from your end for job for the kids of martyrs?
Well, I think it's a great idea. However, we must realize that for us to reach a certain level of excellence, focus is very important. We have to continue to do what we are good at, what our strengths are, rather than trying to spread ourselves too thin. However, what we do is, we provide funding for many of these initiatives through Infosys Science Foundation. Every year, Infosys Foundation, I'm sorry. And they are the ones, they have supported the military families. They have support, for example, must have seen how well we look after the Central CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force, Central Industrial Security Force, CISF. And so to the extent possible, we try and add whatever little value we can. But however, the day we, I don't know if you remember, about 15, 20 years ago, Tata Steel put an advertisement. Said, we do this, we do that, we do this. We also produce steel. And Tata Steel just went down like that. And they realized in time, unfortunately, it came back. So therefore, what is important is, Infosys is good in software development. That's its primary work. We must continue to strengthen that. We must continue to develop much more complex software. We must develop much software more productively with better quality, etc. And earn more and more profits and donate a part of that profit to specialists who are in a position to add value to these. That's exactly what we do.
Actually, you don't mix business and philanthropy. Infosys does software, export, and they earn money. 2% of that, which is 400 crores, they give it to us, and we do philanthropy. We don't go to business and tell, look, these are the things you employ, they don't do. They won't tell you whom we should give money, who are business partners, they don't do. For martyrs, Infosys Foundation is one of the, actually it's the only one it started helping them. Each Shaheed family gets 10 lakhs. And last year, we gave to 800 people. You know, we go and verify. Not that somebody, because in a family, you know that mother and daughter-in-law will fight for the money. The child will have some problem. So we go to individual houses. We have a team for that who will visit individual martyrs' family and give each family 10 lakhs. In Pullman, recently, in that Hadsa, we gave 4 crore 30 lakhs or something, because there are 43 people. In Punjab, if the person is disabled in the war or in casualty, not a war, in casualties, etc., so we give a scholarship to their children. And sometimes we help them to rehabilitate, either with some seed money, etc. we give. So we would like to help our army or our defense forces, because of their sacrifice. We are aware that we are in a democratic, independent India, and it's our duty to help, and which you do at the at the tune of 80 to 100 crores a year. Every year we do that.
I think the ladies must have the last word, and therefore Abhay has decided that this will be the last question, and he has been so kind to manage that our visit has been very productive. So let you please ask the last question. Yeah, you stood up just now, please.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. My name is Shardia Mandal, and I'm 13 years old. It's almost a dream come true to meet you all. And my question is that you have been meeting so many people in your life, famous, non-famous. How has this affected your life?
For me, it doesn't affect much, because I really don't know. If they are famous, well and good, it's fine. If they are famous, you see and appreciate. If they are not famous, that's also fine. We are not famous 50 years, 40 years back. We are like one of them. If they are famous, it doesn't affect me as such. I look at them, appreciate their efforts, their achievements, and that's it. I don't take it in a personal way. Look at them and look at me. I never compare. Every flower is beautiful in its own way. Everybody has their own marathon to run. Everybody is a God's gift. So why worry about meeting someone and feeling, oh, it has happened or something? No. I meet them and be happy, forget and go on. That's my way of living.
No, as far as I'm concerned, whenever I meet a person who has certain characteristics that I can learn from. Therefore, I am highly focused on observing people who have achieved something in life, and I want to learn the good things from them. So therefore, I am in awe of those people. I want to learn from those people, and I want to improve myself. So therefore, I am an unabashed admirer of accomplished people, and I want to learn from them, and I want to become better.